Alright guys, welcome back to Persona 3 Reload. Last time I meant Persona 3. If I remember correctly, we finished up in Tartarus. We got to the border floor of Thebel, meaning that the next time we go to Tartarus, we can go into the next section, but we can't do that until we finish up the full moon boss in May, which I think isn't for a few days. So yeah, so for the next couple of parts, we're going to be just dealing with nothing but social links until then, because usually how I divided sessions was, I usually ended a session right when I was going to Tartarus, or at the end of a month. It just depended how the schedule went, but, so yeah, for this part, we're going to be getting into our first social link stuff, but Usually, immediately after I finish in Tartarus, I always do the following. I go to the police station and sell whatever materials I got from Tartarus. Check in with Elizabeth to see if there's any requests that popped up. Usually there's not, though. Especially right now, because Elizabeth's requests haven't even opened up yet. And then, yeah, Elizabeth's requests haven't popped up yet. And another thing you need to do, if this is your first playthrough, mind you, is when you finish up in Tartarus the night prior, you can go to the nurse's office, and he'll give you a mysterious concoction. And if you drink it, you get a free point towards your what is it? Your courage. Yeah, you get a free point towards your courage, which is really helpful for getting your social stats up. And it doesn't take any time. Actually, I think it's anything. You can use this anytime you go to do anything related to the Dark Hour. With a few exceptions, mind you. Like, if you do a full moon boss fight the night before, you can do it. Or you can do, whatchamacallit. I think there are certain story events that happen during the Dark Hour that you can use as an excuse to go to the nurse's office. I can't remember, though. But right now we are actually learning about, we did hear a rumor about one of the next social link we're getting, which is the Chariot Arcana, which is the track team. Now in the original Persona 3, I believe you had a choice between the track team and the Kendo team. But in Reload, and I feel like Portable took the option away too, but I could be 100% wrong. Honestly, that's a quick Google search, to be frank. But in Persona 3 Reload, they took that option away, so you are stuck with the track team no matter what. And I really don't know why they took the option away, but I can also kind of understand it, since most people most likely just chose the track team anyway. Because I think a lot of schedules relied on the track team. You being in the track team rather than the Kendo team. I could be 100% wrong. But I usually always chose the track team anyway. But personally, so.
I'm Kazushi Miyamoto. You've seen me around, right?
And yes, you are forced to do one of these. So you are forced to join the track team anyway in this game. Because there's going to be a point later in the schedule where you miss like an entire week of in-game time, because there's a big track event that they're gonna force you to do. Because I believe by a certain point in the game calendar, Toriumi will pull you into the faculty office, and she will practically not let you leave until you join until you join the track team. It's kind of annoying if you're trying to do a no social link run, but they do force you to do it. Like if you're trying to do a run with no social links whatsoever, it's kind of hard to do that with, being forced to do the Chariot. Well, technically you have some social links that you're forced to do anyway, technically. The Fool Arcana is one of them, and the what's the other one? The Death Arcana, and I believe Judgment as well. Those are kind of the forced arcanas in your social link library, while the rest are, you know, technically optional. And this is actually a flag for the Strength Arcana with Yuko.
Oh, hello. What's up? Actually, no, I'm in a hurry today. See ya.
Welcome back. Nah.
I'm trying to think of things to talk about, but there's not really much to, since it's pretty basic stuff. I mean, in terms of night activities, there's not a lot of social links right now that we can do, because those don't start unlocking until later in the game. So really all we can do right now is
Let's see.
just get social stats up. That's kind of what your first few months of in-game time is going to be like in terms of your nighttime activities. Is you're just going to be using that time to get your social stats up as close to max as possible. You do need them to be maxed out by the time, by the end of the game, especially if you do want all the social links, because there are a few social links that require you to have the highest level in the respective social stats. I like the title of that arcade cabinet. It's a very interesting game. Super Game Space Shot.
You know what? Oh. I know, right?
Yeah, so every day whenever you go to, there are most times there's going to be students talking about certain rumors when it relates to your social links and stuff like that. Like they'll tell you like, hey, you know, the ramen shop's open at a certain time at night, or they'll give you a sort of hint towards where a social link would be. Like I think one person will reference someone in the nightclub at night. You know, there's just stuff like that.
Man, this always hits the spot. This flavor's pretty addictive, huh?
Yeah, so this is actually, I think I mentioned it last time we had a social link part, but I'll talk about it again. This is the first time that they've had the social links be fully voiced in Persona 3 specifically, or just really any Persona game, I want to say. And that's kind of a good way to do it, in all honesty, because for one, you know, it actually makes you want to pay the fuck attention, because I know a lot of people who just kind of skip through the dialogue of the social links because they're reading it too, especially for like Let's Play purposes. You know, you don't have to, you're not skipping the dialogue too fast, because while you can read it in a certain pace, you know, the people watching can't. I'm still kind of guilty of skipping through dialogue a little too fast, even if it's not voiced in this Let's Play. There are going to be a few instances, but
basically, I'm just gonna ask this girl out. But get this, she's a teacher at our school. Not like that's gonna stop me from making my move. But you gotta promise you won't tell anyone, okay? It might look weird if a teacher and a student are having a thing, you know?
Yeah, but this is where, you know... But this was something that, back in Persona 5, I believe the first rank and the last rank were the only ones that were voiced, while the other ones were completely were just text boxes and no voice acting whatsoever. Which was... It wasn't terrible, but like, again, for Let's Play purposes, it makes it a little harder to, whatchamacallit, skip through. It makes it a little harder to sit through because, you know, while you're comfortable reading at a certain speed, you know, the people watching most likely aren't. And, you know, I've got a guilty of kind of skipping through dialogue here, but mainly it's stuff that's just not important. You know, it's like them asking, like, hey, do you want to do this? Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? Like, right here, I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, yeah, like, it's asking, it's like, do I want to spend the night here? And I'm like, yes. But the arcade game that shows up in Game Parade changes every night, but it cycles between a few, mainly because there's a trivia game that shows up, the House of the Dead parody, and the other one that raises your charm. And those are the three that it will go through. You just have to keep an eye out on which one you want. And whatchamacallit. Just go through with that one. So if you wanted academics that night, then you're gonna have to go somewhere else, like the ramen. I think the seafood ramen place encourages your academics every night. It does, actually. Yeah. The seafood ramen place increases your academics every night, so that's a guaranteed spot. But the arcade is just a random place in terms of like which social stat you want raised at a respective time. But actually, I think we're meeting another one of our social links, which is the old couple in the bookstore.
Welcome. What would you like to order? Our special today is fresh mackerel.
As you might suspect, we don't serve sushi here.
Oh, you're a student, aren't you? Then you must be from GeckoCon High, right? That means you probably know about the persimmon tree there, don't you?
Actually, there is a bit of a constraint to unlocking the social link. A little bit of one. Actually, there's technically two constraints with this social link. The first one is this, in terms of unlocking it in the first place. You need to go get a leaf from the persimmon tree at GeckoCon, which, you know, it's pretty easy to find. We walked right past it to go to the track team in the first place. And the other one is that at one point when we start learning about missing persons in Tartarus, one of them is actually the one, I forgot the guy's name. I'm so tired, I forgot his name. But one of them is related to this social link, and if you don't save him in time, he dies, cutting that social link off. So you have to make sure you save him. And the other social, there's actually two social links that this happens to, and the other one is the Hanged Man Arcana, Maiko. She will she'll end up in Tartarus too.
Welcome to Bookworms. How many guests? Smoking or non-smoking? That leaf that's in your hand. Oh, do you mean to tell me this is a leaf from that persimmon tree? It must have grown quite a bit to produce such splendid leaves. Oh, wait, so you aren't here to buy books? Did you come visit just to show this to us? I knew it. I knew right from the start that you were a kind young man. I've been meaning to go see that tree for a while now, but I'm not sure if these stumpy old legs will make it that far. That wasn't meant to be a pun. You know, stumpy.
Are you by chance related to Ikutsuki?
Yes, you're very clever, dear.
Let me introduce my wife, Mitsuko. I'm Bunkichi.
Kichi, that's him. He ends up in Tartarus at a certain date, and if you don't save him by his deadline,
Good name.
he dies, and as a result, the social link's cut off. And I believe even if you did finish the social link by that point, well, yeah, it still cuts it off anyway. Those are the only, I think this is the only instance where you can permanently lose a social link in this version of Persona 3, to my recollection. No, wait, I think the Chihiro and Yukari situation are the same way. You can lose that. You can cut them off permanently.
Come visit us whenever you're free.
If you fuck up enough. But those two situations though are pretty. It's pretty easy to tell when you're about to screw up. Mainly because mainly the little thought bubbles from Makoto warn you. It's like, I better be careful of what I say here. Or in the Yukari case, it's basically common sense. If you know Yukari, then you need to stop. If you know Yukari, then if you pick the wrong dialogue choice, well, you'll figure out which one's the wrong dialogue choice anyway.
Jeez.
And if you're wondering why I interacted with the console, it's because later in the game we're going to start getting secret hidden video recordings of things going on around the dorm at certain points in the story. So it's a good way, it's just, it's not important to the story, it's just some funny character moments for all of the dorm residents. And Akutsuki. And this is another thing, on days off of school, there are times where your social links will send you invitations to hang out with them. Most times, I don't really take them up on the offer, mainly because, again, my schedule says not to. And I remember back in Persona 3, there was actually the possibility of double booking. And, well, if you did that, you would end up screwing yourself over and accidentally reversing your social link. And, well, you can see the problem there. But days off of school, it's pretty much the same thing as, being in school. The only difference is that, you're in your winter clothes rather than your winter uniform. But in terms of the day chart, it's exactly the same. You only get one slot for daytime and then one for nighttime. But they just changed the text a little bit, and there's a little bit more you can do on days off of school than there are on days at school, or reverse, I guess. Like, for example, on days off of school, you can't study in the library because, well, your school's closed that day. But you can study at your desk if you're truly desperate to study during the daytime.
You're like his complete opposite. Would you like another to give to a friend? We have so many. My wife and I would take forever to finish them all. Right then. Here you go. For real this time. What was your name again?
Goodness, dear. It's him, remember?
Oh, right, him. Here you go, him.
Terribly forgetful lately. Here.
And that's the other thing I like about this social link is that there are a lot of the ranks, they give you an item of some sort to help you in battles. You know, it's usually like HP related items or whatchamacallit, SP. No, there's no SP items. They give you, I believe.
Where in the world did he go? Right, dear?
If I remember right, there's no SP. Hey, you little jerk! Don't bite me. What'd I say about biting?
That's right.
It's like I said you can walk around me while I do this, but you can't bite people.
Sorry, young man. I apologize on behalf of my son for not being here to greet you.
Ooh.
Hey, now, it's dark outside. We don't need.
Yeah, there's an instance of me accidentally skipping the text. That was probably because I was mashing the X button during the rank up screen, because it's just shit you've seen before. So I'm just like, yeah, I know it's at rank 2. But unlike Persona 5, when you go up a rank, you don't get any like perks related to that social link. Like I think I mentioned this before, where like back in Persona 5, if you got your rank up with the weapon shop owner, he would give you a discount and access to more weapons to buy. That doesn't exist at all here. The only benefit you get for finishing up social links is the extra experience for fusing personas of that respective arcana, and that's really all you get. You know, not a bad bonus, but it's just, you know, if you're someone who went from 5 to 3. You know, if you're someone who played a lot of 5 and then you're playing 3 Reload, it's going to feel a little weird that the only benefit you're getting from your social link is just the Arcana burst, rather than, you know, something like certain battle mechanics or something like that. It is a little disappointing, but it's not much you can do about it. And I doubt they were going to do anything like that for Reload anyway, because once again, I'm like pretty sure they wanted to keep the, you know, base of Persona 3 unchanged. They just wanted to fuse, they basically wanted to fuse together Persona 3 Portable and Persona 3 FES in terms of what worked, what didn't, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, that's the other part? Oh, okay. I expected it to be longer for some reason. But yeah, that's the end of our first social link part with Persona 3 Portable. So the... did I seriously say Persona 3 Portable? Man, then. That game changed. Anyway, that is our first social link part with Persona 3 Reload. So the next time you meet in Persona 3 Reload, we're just going to keep doing more social links and stuff like that. I think there's going to be a little story next part. I can't remember. So see you guys next time, and take care.